line to establish where he is going. He said, I'm going to build you into a great nation. But then he starts getting really specific. Through Judah, somebody's going to rise up that's going to rule. And through the line of David, he says this, and your house and your kingdom shall be made sure forever before me. Your throne shall be established forever. Your throne shall be established forever. That's eternity. David dies, and his son, through Bathsheba, is anointed king. What's his name? Solomon. And in Solomon, God fulfills his promise. He says, I will make you into a great nation. Solomon's kingdom is great. Whether you're a biblical scholar or somebody who does not even believe that the Bible is true, you're a scholar. You know Solomon ruled the world. The known world, Solomon was it. And his kingdom was it. Judah and Israel was many as the sand by the sea. They ate and drank and were happy. The queen of Sheba shows up to come and see this person they've been talking about. And she saw all the wisdom of Solomon and the palace he built, and the food at his table, the seating of his officials, the attending servants in their robes, his cupbearers, and the burnt offerings he made in the temple of the Lord. And she was overwhelmed. Literally, her breath was taken away. Here's a queen, shows up and says, I've never seen anything like this. Solomon also built the temple that his dad designed. He built a temple, an established place where people would come. At that time, you had to come to the temple for sacrifice. You had to come to the temple to meet with God. And he builds this temple that is a wonder of the world. He dedicates it to the Lord. And God does this. And fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices. And the glory of the Lord filled the temple. And all the people of Israel saw the fire come down and the glory of the Lord on the temple. They bowed down with their faces to the ground on the pavement and worshiped and gave thanks to the Lord, saying, for he is good, and his steadfast love endures forever. Fire came down. The glory of God filled the temple. Priests couldn't even go near it, Scripture says. This is a great and mighty nation, and everything flowed through Israel at that time. Trade routes. People would come and ask Solomon for permission. They would pay tribute to him and give him gifts. God says, through you, this 75-year-old man and a 65-year-old wife, I will build a great nation. And all of what we just went through is God building that nation. Now, he says a lot of things, but what he's doing is building a great nation. Wouldn't this be a great time to send a blessing? Wouldn't it? We have the great nation. God says, through you, though, I'm going to bless all the families together. Wouldn't this be a great time? This would be the best time. Something terrible happened, so it seems. You can almost hear Satan taunting and saying, it's been 1,100 years since you told Abraham that promise about blessing all the peoples of the earth. It's been 1,100 years. I see no blessing. Your people, they go that way, this way. I see nothing. Where is it? Solomon, because of his divided heart, he had a divided heart. He built temples for his wives to other gods. He brought awful things into the temple of the Lord. He dies, and Rehoboam becomes his son. And he did not follow the heart of his grandfather David. So the people come to him and they say, Rehoboam, 10 tribes in the north was Rehoboam, who's from Judah. They said, your dad was pretty hard on us. Taxed us, took our children. You let up a little bit. Rehoboam says, go away for 3 days. Come back for my answer. 3 days go by. Rehoboam says this, my pinky is thicker than my father's thumb. In other words, you think you had that back then. My pinky is thicker than my father's thumb. And the nation splits forever. Where is this blessing? God builds this great nation, then he crushes it. What in the world is God doing? It doesn't make any sense. What is God's plan? Where is he going and what is he doing and why? Crazy sometimes when we read Scripture. We say, what? How? That doesn't make any sense. Where is this redemptive promise? We must pause for next week. I know I just threw history at you, but I have a purpose. We must know our history to know where we fit. We must know that the Bible is not a bunch of bits and pieces. When you read those chapters, think of this. This is where God's going and why. So principle number 1, God is the most important and supreme person in this story. And principle number 2, that we'll pick up next week, is God is on a mission. A great campaign to redeem and transform broken people is the central theme of the story. Does that make sense? Father, thank you for meeting with us as we transition into communion. We ask that you focus our hearts. Jesus.